Hello everybody, this is Kaz. So I finished just writing of the my Kindle book. This was my third Kindle book called Eigo no kan 3, and I was able to publish it last night. And as I was adding a final touch to it, I actually have found something pretty profound for me. For a long time I was wondering, why is it that for me it wasn't very difficult to speak English, to learn English? It wasn't very difficult. Even the first time I spoke English, even when I was in high school, I was able to speak it. And I see so many Japanese people struggling and they can't really communicate well in English. And I realized one thing, which is that my first language is Hiroshima dialect. And I think that is related to the ease of my learning. Here's what I found. Standard Japanese, you emphasize nouns. But in Hiroshima Ben, we emphasize subject and a verb, just like English or other foreign languages. And I believe that's why, for me, it's easy to speak English, because I just think of subject, a guy, you, he, she, my dog, and then I just add a verb. And it's so easy for me to do that because in Hiroshima Ben, that's what we do. And I want to give you an example, and this is what I found. This is very interesting to me. So let's see. I went to see a movie, right? And Japanese people tend to say, I went to see a movie, like as if they really want to exaggerate the movie part. And in standard Japanese, they would also say, Eigoを見に来ました. Like eiga, movie part is really stressed, or the pitch is the highest for that word. Eigoを見に来ました. But in Hiroshima Ben, we would say it like this. Washi, meaning watashi. Washi eigaを見に行ったんよ. Did you notice I emphasize washi, eiga見に行った? So in my intuition, subject is very important, because in Hiroshima we say anta to mean you. Washi, as I grew up in Hiroshima, I always usually said you or I, even though I'm speaking Japanese. And because I start a sentence with a subject, of course I exaggerate my verb. わし昨日映画見に行ったんよ. I went to see a movie yesterday. Because when I say I, 私, わし, imagine if I stop there, わし, and you would wonder, what? Went to see a movie. Or I spoke with my friend. わし友達と喋ったんよ. See? Because I start a sentence in Hiroshima Ben with a subject, I always exaggerate a verb, because the verb really explains the subject. And I think that's it. That's why, for me, it's very intuitive to think. When I speak a foreign language, I just say a subject and a verb. But I think that's not very intuitive for people who speak standard Japanese, or maybe people from Tokyo. Although I believe that if people living in the Tokyo area, they can also try to speak like that, kind of like a childish language that they used to speak, which I believe probably would be similar to our dialect or dialects. Okay, I want to give you a summary of, I want to give you a couple more examples. I played with a dog yesterday in Tokyo. 昨日犬と遊んだ. In Hiroshima, わし昨日犬と遊んだ. Say, わし, I, 遊んだ. Like a subject and the verb become really heightened. I drank coffee this morning in Tokyo, or standard Japanese. コーヒーを飲んだ. 今朝コーヒーを飲んだ. In Hiroshima, わし今朝コーヒーを飲んだ. I saw my friend at the station in Tokyo or standard Japanese. 駅で友達に会った。駅で友達に会った。Like 友達, a noun is emphasized. In Hiroshima, 駅でわし meaning 私わし駅で友達に会うたんよ。Again, the subject and the verb are both emphasized. Just because because I'm talking about the subject, I want to say what the subject does, so that's why the verb participle is exaggerated, like I already explained. I bought a camera yesterday. 昨日カメラを買いました。昨日カメラを買いました。In Tokyo, camera is a noun and it is emphasized. In Hiroshima, わし昨日カメラ買うたんよ。わし昨日カメラ買うたんよ。Yeah, again, the verb is really emphasized. So these are the examples, and I feel like, oh, okay, this is why when I speak a foreign language, English, French, Spanish, it's kind of easy to me just to start from a subject, and I stress the verb part of the sentence. And I know how important it is for a Western language speaker to say a subject and a verb. My wife studied Japanese, and when she was learning it, she told me that one major obstacle for Westerners is that all of a sudden they're told omit a subject, and they don't even know how to start a sentence. Omit a subject. So how do you speak? Yeah. Anyways, like I said, I finished this Kindle book, Eigo no Kan 3. If you're Japanese and if you're listening to this, この下にリンク貼っておきますので、ぜひゲットしてみてください。英語ノードまた明日